The listening room. Dr. Sarah Chen documented everything. 23 years as a sleep researcher, and she'd learned that the human mind does strange things in the dark. But room 407 was different. The hospital's overnight observation unit had 12 rooms. 11 functioned normally. Room 407 had been flagged in maintenance reports since 1987. Nothing structural, nothing the engineers could find. Just a note in faded ink. Patients report unusual auditory phenomena. Sarah's latest patient, an elderly man named Howard, had been assigned there by accident, a clerical error. When she checked on him at 2 a.m, he was sitting upright, eyes closed, head tilted as if listening to something beyond the equipment's steady beeping. "Do you hear them?" he whispered without opening his eyes. "Hear what, Howard?" "The others. All the people who slept here before me." His voice was distant, dreaming. "They're still talking, still trying to wake up." Sarah checked his vitals. Normal. She made a note to move him in the morning, but curiosity is a researcher's curse. After her shift, she accessed the archives. Room 407 had housed 247 patients over 38 years. She cross-referenced the names with hospital records, looking for patterns. 32 had reported auditory hallucinations. 14 had claimed they heard voices of previous patients. 7 had provided specific details, names, dates, conversations, that they couldn't have known. One patient in 1993 had described, word for word, a conversation from 1989. Another in 2003 had recounted a memory belonging to someone who'd occupied the room in 1997. The memories were verified, accurate. Impossible. Sarah reviewed the architectural plans. Room 407 sat directly above the hospital's old foundation, built over what had been a tuberculosis ward in 1921. Before that, the land had held something else. The records went fuzzy. A sanitarium, perhaps, or an asylum. She decided to spend a night there herself, for research, for answers. The room felt ordinary at first. Standard bed, monitor equipment, the antiseptic smell of every hospital room. She lay down, kept the lights off, and waited. At 2:47 a.m. she heard it. Not a voice exactly. More like the echo of a voice, caught in the walls themselves. A woman asking for water, a child crying for their mother, a man reciting numbers in an endless loop. Sarah sat up, heart racing, and realized the truth. The room wasn't haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by sleep itself. Every dream, every nightmare, every half-conscious thought spoken in the dark, the room had absorbed them, held them, played them back. She heard Howard's voice from hours before. "Do you hear them?" Then her own response, tinny and distant. Then older voices, layered beneath. Decades of sleepers, their subconscious minds leaving impressions like fingerprints on glass. The hospital wasn't built on cursed ground. It was built on permeable ground. Some places, she understood now, are too thin, too receptive. They soak up human consciousness like water into soil, and when enough has accumulated, it seeps back out. She heard herself thinking, not speaking, thinking. Her internal voice, wondering if she should leave, wondering if this was real, wondering what would happen if she stayed until morning. The room was listening to her, adding her to its collection. Sarah stood to leave but paused at the door. In the layered whispers, she heard something else. A pattern. The voices weren't random. They were responding to each other across time. A patient from 1987 asking a question. A patient from 2005 answering. Conversations threaded through decades. People who'd never met speaking to each other through the membrane of this one room. She heard her own voice join the chorus, asking questions she hadn't yet spoken aloud. Future patients would hear her, she realized, would hear this moment, would know she'd been here, listening, understanding too late that some rooms remember everything. Dr. Sarah Chen left room 407 at 4:12 a.m. She filed a report recommending its permanent closure. The hospital ignored it. Beds were needed. Space was limited. Room 407 remains in use. If you're ever there, lying in the dark, and you hear voices that aren't quite voices, don't listen too carefully. Don't think too loudly. Because the room is always listening, always remembering, always adding to its collection of sleepless thoughts and half-dreamed words. And one day someone else will hear you, wondering why you couldn't leave.